WABC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Hello, everyone. This is meteorologist Dan Tomaso coming to you on a Saturday night. If you've been looking for our news broadcasts, unfortunately, we did have a full slate of NBA games that interrupted the news cycle on a day leading up to this snowstorm. Maybe not the most convenient, but if you're a basketball lover, we've certainly had that fill of things. But now for the nitty-gritty of what's happening with this storm. We are starting to see the ingredients taking shape for this snow heading into tomorrow. Let's hop into things. And it is quiet, and it's been quiet throughout this evening and tonight. Really not much wind. It's pretty still. Temperatures in the teens. So obviously it's plenty cold enough, and we knew that going into this. But if you are watching radar at home, maybe you're pulling up the weather app, you're looking at radar and you may say, is the storm already here? No. This is the first areas of moisture, if you will, coming up from the southwest with this whole front lifting in. And so the meat of this is still pretty far away. And you may not see much in the way of snow showers where you are until 3, 4, 5 a.m., and then things really start to ramp up. We've been mentioning that time period about 6 a.m. through noon is when snow is really going to make hay around here, and it's a far-reaching storm system. This is not a classic storm for this area in any way, shape, or form. It's very unique. This is a storm system that I have yet to really cover in my career, where you have such cold air moving in, pressed up against this stationary front where there's still somewhat mild air to the south, and the in-between zone is where all this moisture is being slapped up on this front and watching it all move in real time. So again, this is not your traditional coastal low type setup. This is more just getting hit with a lot of moisture coming in from the southwest over a very cold air mass. And speaking of how cold it is, temperatures in the single digits to the northwest of the region, but even in the valley locations, Harrisburg, Lebanon, York, Lancaster, all around 15 degrees. But let's now play this out. So while we're sleeping tonight, the snow begins to develop and move in. And as I mentioned, that 3, 4, 5 a.m. time period, depending on where you are, from south to north across the mid-state, those snow showers develop. Snow then continues heading in through tomorrow morning, and that's the brunt of the storm system in terms of snow accumulation through about noon. And I love when Precision Cast has really painted the picture that we've been expecting. Sleet begins to move in around the noon hour and continues to lift to the north and northwest throughout the afternoon. Now, don't take this sleet line as an absolute. What we try to do here in terms of forecasting is understand this is most likely a little bit more to the north and west, likely through the Harrisburg region. We've seen this countless times with storms. Now, if it happens to not occur and move that far to the north, well, we've covered for that in terms of snow total forecast. So it's just one of these things where, unfortunately, we're not going to get a full idea of what this sleet line is going to do until it's here. But we do know it's going to exist, and we know there's going to be some sleet moving in thanks to some mild air in the atmosphere. So that will kind of cap any really extreme snowfall totals across the region, likely at about a foot, maybe just a little bit more. So again, this is not an historic storm. It is a large storm, but this is not something we haven't seen before. And then if you're wondering when it ends, by 9, 10, even 11 o'clock, there's just a few remaining snow showers, and the storm is pulling away. If you've seen forecasts that say this is lingering through Monday morning, that is not a good forecast. We have never been calling for that here at ABC 27. By that time, I would say anytime after midnight, cleanup can really begin leading into Monday morning itself. Now, let's look at snow totals before that sleet really takes hold. Again, we are calling for 8 to 14 inches. Precision Cast right in line with that. Once you start getting some sleet, again, you may add on in terms of some sleet and some wet snowflakes, but that is the bulk of the storm right there. I've also gotten questions about drifting. In terms of winds for Sunday itself, mostly out of the east, 5, 10, 15 miles per hour during the height of the storm. Then we see that switch over into Monday morning of more of a northwesterly flow. Now, the areas that get sleet should not see a ton of drifting because it'll help weigh down the snowpack and compact things. For areas that get more of the fluffy snow and not a lot of sleet, yeah, there could be some drifting, obviously, into Monday morning. And that's why we feel like pretty much no matter what, we will be seeing delays heading into Monday morning, if not closures of most schools and businesses. But again, to wrap things up, in terms of snow totals, 8 to 14 inches of total snowfall across the region. If you see the sleet move in during the afternoon, you'll be closer to that 8, even to about 10-inch mark. The places that don't see a whole lot of sleet will be closer to a foot to 14 inches. Again, that's where we feel like the ceiling of this storm has been. It's never going to be a historic storm. It's one of the biggest we've seen since 2018, but we've had these foot snowstorms many times in the past, just not recently. So what to expect again after through about 3 a.m., that's when we expect the snow showers to really develop. That'll accumulate through dawn. Heading through Sunday morning, heavy snow, 2 inches per hour. Travel will be impacted the most during the morning, but then obviously as the snow accumulates too during the afternoon, we need to give road crews ample time for cleanup. It's going to take a while. It's a lot of snow. It's hard to move it, especially once the sleet moves in. Again, give things time to get back to normal. The sleet overall knocks down the snow totals a bit, but I just want to reemphasize, there is still going to be a lot of snow before any potential sleet impact. So again, back here in the ABC 27 Weather Center and the studio here in Uptown Harrisburg, we're watching and waiting the same way you are as the snow is getting closer, but no major changes to the forecast. Meteorologist Brett Thakra, he'll be along in the morning. We'll be on live tonight yet at 11:30 p.m. with more updates. Until then, thanks for watching and be safe out there. Have a good night.